Hello, and welcome to new update from the Markets Middleman. Today is Wednesday, July 29, and it's a significant day. I'm making this update at a specific time after 1 minute. I have a confirmation on the 1 hour time frame for EU, so I want you to stick till the end to see what's my plan going forward into today's FOMC statement. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and just review what DXY just did after the first update on Monday. I expected a continuation to the upside, which happened basically until we reached the high of last week. So before we saw this sell-off, we have this candle to the upside closed above the previous buy side, okay, or the high of last week. So this gave me the conviction that we are still about to push to the upside. Now, of course, at this time over here, no one would expect this sell-off. But yesterday I was just neutral, waiting for price to retrace maybe into the OTE. So since I saw the 1 and 2 hour time frame close above this buy side, I was confident that this is just a sell-off. But everything is possible at this market, so and anything can change at any time. So staying neutral, waiting patiently is always gonna reveal more clarity. So what today did is the following. Market opened on Wednesday, swept the low of Tuesday, okay? Did not close below it, just a sweep, and we saw a nice rejection from it, okay? If I just give you a quick look into the 1 hour time frame, this is what I mean. The sweep, no 1 hour close below, no BOS, then price inverted this 1 hour order block, stayed with it during London session, and right now we're seeing a continuation to the upside. This is the level to cross in order to mark a bullish change of character. But I will show you on the EU why I think this is already done for the XY, and it's just a matter of a correction lower into one of those two 1 hour fair value gaps for a continuation higher. I think today will bring a lot of volatility, okay? Just a quick recap on the daily time frame to see where we are heading into today's FOMC. Usually, the FOMC triggers and brings more fuel into the existing trend. So if this is the uptrend, I think today will end up having a break of structure, maybe sweeping this buy side and tapping into the monthly imbalance over here. Maybe after then, price would start its correction phase. Maybe we take the monthly high and then correct lower to take this daily fair value gap. But this is so early to talk about the future. What's happening right now is a potential continuation to the upside. I expect a big white or green candle from today, continuation tomorrow. Maybe we have a reversal on Friday. So this is what I see so far. DXY could correct a little bit lower into one of those two 1 hour imbalances and then continue its push to the upside. Now I'm going to show you how I translated this already on EU. So everything I said on DXY is the total opposite for EU. So you already know from previous updates the change of character. Yesterday's trade was successfully closed around the low of Friday, which I also updated in the last update. And we've had this close below the sell side, marking another break of structure. So right now we have a change of character and a break of structure. So yesterday's pullback couldn't take out the protected high. Look where the protected high is. It's safe enough not to change the market structure. If this push to the upside continued and today we saw a close above this buy side, then I would change my mind. But see what happened. Market created a high on Tuesday. Today, Wednesday, couldn't take the high of yesterday. But DXY did, made a sweep for Tuesday's low. EU couldn't take Tuesday's high. So this is a bearish SMT divergence for EU. So imagine you have a buy side over here. When you have a confirmed SMT with DXY or GU, it's as if price already took this high already. Okay, and just a matter of confirmed change of character for a continuation to the downside. So since we have the SMT valid already, okay, I went into the 1 hour time frame. Right now, after this 1 hour, on the 15 minutes, it's already confirmed. Okay, and since I saw the bearish SMT, I will take the 15 minutes into consideration. Just to show you the 15 minutes real quick, I will take the 15 minutes change of character into consideration. So we see clearly how price closed below it. So if this was the last push to the downside, I want a retrace. I want to short price at a premium. So I have this 1 hour bearish fair value gap. So within this 1 hour bearish fair value gap, I'm going to start positioning in some short trades, short orders to take out this sell side, which is Tuesday's low. In an anticipation to continue the push to the downside to take the external major sell side over here to just continue the overall trend, which is obviously bearish. So right now why I'm making this video is because I already saw the confirmation and I have a 1 hour fair value gap. Let's suppose we enter right at the fair value gap, protecting stops within this high, and target is the sell side. This is a magnificent almost 3 hour trade. So this is not a financial advice. This is just for you to observe and study for today. Just take into consideration that sometimes it's risky to take a trade during the FOMC or during the day of the FOMC, because if price took your order and stayed around your order and something against you happened, maybe you would suffer from some slippage or something like that. So just be careful of the risk you're taking. But if price took the area of interest before the FOMC and around this time over here, the FOMC, then it's okay. Even though price reversed against you, your stop is protected enough so you wouldn't suffer from slippage or anything like that. So I will actually place my trade and I will see if price can take this level or not yet. So this is basically for EU. I think the structure is clean enough in order to think about shorting the markets. Now moving forward for GU, GU is really weak. Price couldn't even tap into this imbalance over here, and right now made also an SMT with EU. Like there's a huge difference between GU and EU right now. Couldn't even take this high over here. Confirmed a break of structure from a 2 hour, 1 hour order block, and it's about to continue its push to the downside. Now this consolidation could represent a higher time frame order block. So if we see a push to the downside tomorrow after the news, a retrace back into this consolidation, which could represent a 8 hour order block, for example, then I would think about shorting the markets into those two relative equal lows over here, or the FIBO extension 27 extension. So keep that in mind. For GU, I really don't have a specific setup yet, but I think if we see a break from this consolidation, it would represent a retrace and then a continuation lower. Moving forward into AUD, I mentioned this on Monday, and specifically on the 1 hour time frame, I um, I spoke about the potential for a delayed correlation. So I said that EU is right, like almost over here, GU as well, and AUD is what it was just a matter of time for price to catch up with what's happening on EU and GU. So this was the inverse fair value gap over here on the 1 hour time frame. And I also gave you another option if you want to wait for a change of character on the 15 minutes. So just a quick review what happened after that. A change of character occurred within this candle, so you can perceive this as the full market structure shift, retrace into the 50% FIBO level, almost tapping into the inverse fair value gap once again, and we saw this huge sell-off until today. And then again, market retraced back into this fair value gap, not reaching the full sell side yet, made a correction higher, and then continued its push to the downside. Today I had this level over here. We already confirmed a major change of character. If you remember here, I was shorting prior to the major change of character, but because I had an internal change of character first. But because everything is aligning, this looked very obvious that it could be a potential lower high. So I expected today price to retrace back into this level over here, or the block on the 6 hour and the breaker block on the 1 hour, but price seemed to have enough from this 1 hour fair value gap, and it looks bearish enough to retrace back up. So I don't think we'll have this retracement to the upside, but I do think a possible retracement back into this fair value gap before taking this sell side over here and a continuation lower. In both cases, if we just see price dipping this low, I really don't have anything to do unless we see a nice correction to the upside maybe during tomorrow and then a continuation in the sell-off. So AUD, I think it gave us enough time over here on Monday to just place in our shorts, and within such days we don't have to look for a continuation since we are already in the trend already. So I think it's done for AUD, and it's just a matter of time to take in those sell side. As a continuation, I'll keep that for the next update just to have a clear setup. And the last update I made it, I spoke about gold, but I couldn't identify anything solid for gold basically. All we had is just a ranging market between a high and a low. But during yesterday, price already confirmed a break of structure. So we've had at least 1 hour or 2 hour closing below the sell side, marking a bearish POS. And usually when DXY is bullish, gold is bearish. Okay, so we can count on this inverse correlation, and we can see that price took a 12-hour bearish fair value gap, even though not at the optimal. So it's way below the 50% FIBO level. Okay, so it's not in the premium yet, but I mean, price could be very bearish just to take this 12-hour fair value gap and get enough off of it. So we've had multiple fair value gaps over here. Price could have taken them already and just about to push lower. I see this as a nice consolidation area in case price makes another dip, a correction into it during tomorrow, and then a continuation to the downside. So you can keep this level in mind. Let's call it a 1-hour breaker. Okay, let's set an area like this, represents this consolidation. A break into it, another break of structure from this low and this low, a correction during tomorrow, for example, and then a continuation to this external or major sell side back from June 30. So this is the plan for gold. Overall, it's bearish. If I couldn't benefit you anything from gold, I just told you to avoid buying gold. So if you were trying to buy anywhere between this level, thinking that this is a BOS or anything like that, you could have saved this loss since the overall bias is strongly bearish. So that's it for gold for now. Okay, just a before I leave you here, a quick update. By the time I'm recording this, I see an extension to the downside from EU. If and in case price couldn't reach this 1-hour fair value gap, I see this liquidity over here on the 1-hour time frame represents a very nice breaker block. So you could have a situation where price just consolidate a little bit few hours before the FOMC and just taps into this level without taking the fair value gap. Around this level, just wait for a lower time frame, maybe on the 5 minutes time frame for a change of character, and then you can take a slight confirmation. Otherwise, you can keep the 1-hour fair value gap as the major area of interest. But I thought of updating this because sometimes market can do it. I think this will be a 2-hour fair value gap. Not exactly, but on the 2-hour, this is also a very clear breaker over here. So yes, we could have the breaker block without the 1-hour fair value gap. So just keep this area in mind around this level over here. Anything between this area over here for shorts is so valid for EU to take out this sell side. With that being said, I want you to stay patient for today, okay? Don't forget that even though you saw a very sharp push to the downside, you will feel some emotions, you will feel that you missed out, you will feel that you could have done better. All of those emotions are normal to face as a trader because our mind tries to trick us always that there's always something better to do. As much as this could be true, as much as it can trap us sometimes within a loop of self-judgment, self-sabotage, and not being able to focus moving forward. So I invite you to stay patient for today, wait for a clear setup to emerge, and no matter where the market goes, there's always going to be a continuation, and the A plus setups will always come through. So with that being said, I leave you for now. Enjoy your day, be patient, and take care of the news, and I will see you in the next update.